this might be the biggest enemy Meghan Markle has ever made because he might become president again. In this episode of the Versus series, we are looking at Meghan Markle versus Donald Trump. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef, the alternate, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to another dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught me eye, and oh my goodness, yes, I am having so much fun filming the Meghan Markle versus series for you guys, and yes, we are looking into Megxit versus Donald Trump, and we're going to go all the way back to May 2016 because, Megxit actually started it all in this particular interview here. She was on the Nightly Show with Larry Wilmore, and this is what she initially said about Donald Trump that kicked it all off.
Yes, of course Trump is divisive. Think about just female voters alone, right? I mean, I think it was in 2012, the Republican Party lost the female vote by 12 points. That's a huge number. And with as misogynistic as Trump is and so vocal about it, that's a huge chunk of it. You're not just voting for a woman if it's Hillary just because she's a woman, but certainly because Trump has made it easy to see that you don't really want that kind of world.
Yep. Now, whether you agree with Donald Trump or not, whether you vote for Donald Trump or not, whether you think Donald Trump is misogynistic or not, yeah, Megxit kicked it all off. And so, yes, over the years, it has been a Donald Trump versus Meghan Markle versus Donald Trump kind of situation, right? And so here we've got Donald Trump reacting to Meghan back in 2019. Told of Megxit's barbs, Trump insisted it was the first time he'd actually heard them, saying, "I didn't know that. What can I say? I didn't know that she was nasty." When told that Megxit had threatened to leave Canada if he actually won in 2016, he was like, "A lot of people are moving here to the US. In other words, sayonara, Megxit, because there's so many more people coming to America than actually leaving. So, whatevs, right? Whatevs." Now, this is the thing. It didn't take long, though, for Megxit to actually move back to the US after being in the royal family for all of 2 minutes, right? And so in this particular interview here, Donald Trump is actually asked what his advice is for the, quote, rogue royals, i.e. Hazard and Megxit, after the announcement of Megxit. This is what he initially says.
I think it's sad.
He firstly says, "I think it's sad." And then, when he talks about the Queen, here we go.
I think this was a blindside. She was blindsided by this.
He says here, the Queen was blindsided by Meghan Markle, by the whole Megxit situation. Meghan Markle blindsided the Queen. Now, this is quite significant for Donald Trump to say. Why? Because all throughout the years, he has been outspoken about his deep-found respect for Her late Majesty the Queen. And so, by him turning around and saying, Megxit blindsided the Queen, that is a major, major diss at Megxit, right? Now, this is the thing. Next up, Donald Trump warns Megxit that he will not hold back if she blasts him after making a Megxit from the royal family. So this was on the 19th of January 2020. White House source described Megxit as fair game following the decision at that point that they were going to leave the royal family, telling the Express, quote, "Megxit has now effectively abandoned the royal family that embraced her. Frankly, she will be fair game in the president's eyes. If she criticizes him openly, you'd better get ready because he will respond in kind. And that's exactly what has happened since then, because he was asked in this interview for his reaction at this point to Hazza and Megxit actually encouraging people to vote for Joe Biden. Now, this was on the 24th of September 2020. This was around about 9 months later. This is what he says.
Fan of hers, and I would say this, and she probably has heard that, but I wish a lot of luck to Harry, because he's going to need it.
I wish a lot of luck to Hazza because he's going to need it, and I'm not a fan of hers. Oh my goodness. To literally, have the President of the United States as your enemy and a potential future President of the United States as your enemy, that's not a good move to make in life. Let's put it that way, okay? Now, next up, we're going to go on to the 1st of December 2021. So a couple of months later, okay? And oh my goodness, has he got some choice words about how Megxit is treating Hazza. Here we go.
Wasn't true.
Yeah.
Should she go into American politics?
I'm not a fan of hers. I wasn't from day one. I think Harry has been used horribly.
He is saying that Megxit has used Hazza horribly, and
I think someday he will regret it. You know,
ho, ho, ho! He's saying here Megxit has used Hazza horribly, and he thinks someday he's gonna regret it. And you know what? I don't agree with Trump on a lot of things, but that I certainly do. He says other things. Here we go.
a lot of people are saying I'm very good at the prediction business. I think someday he will regret it. He probably does already. But I'm not a fan of hers at all. And I think she's very disrespectful to the Queen that we just spoke about, who's such a great woman, who's such a great person, historic person. I think
this is a thing. Another example of Donald Trump being outspoken towards the Queen in such a positive and warm way. He really, really supports the late Queen and overall our British monarchy.
she's very disrespectful to the royal family, but maybe most importantly to the Queen. And I just, from day one, I never got it. I never got it. I see her, I listen to her. She's trying to do things that I think are inappropriate, very inappropriate. But I think Harry's been used and been used terribly. It's ruined his relationship with his family.
So literally, Megxit has just been called out, right, by the President of the United States, ex-President of the United States, Donald Trump, that she's disrespected the Queen in a massive way. She's doing things that are very inappropriate. She's using Hazza terribly and ruined his relationship with his family. He doesn't mince his words, does he, guys? Oh, my goodness. And then let's go on to the following year in 2022 with this Piers Morgan interview. And oh, my goodness, does he have even more choice words when it comes to how Megxit is treating Hazza?
Harry is whipped.
Harry is whipped by Megxit! Whipped! Hazza is Megxit's whipping boy as far as Donald Trump is concerned. Oh my goodness.
You know the expression
I'm
whipped?
familiar with the phrase.
I won't use the full expression. But Harry is whipped like no person I think I've ever seen. I'm not a fan of Meghan.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. And I wasn't right from the beginning.
Same
I think
to
poor
you.
Harry is being led around by his nose, okay?
You think he's going to win?
He's been led around by his nose, Hazza. As in, Megxit's like, come on, Hazza. Come on, Hazza. Come on, Hazza. And Hazza's like, oh my goodness. Donald Trump can be hilarious at times.
I do. I've been a very good predictor, as you know. I predicted almost everything. It'll end, and it'll end bad.
It will end, and it will end bad. And I'll tell you something, that's another thing that I do agree with Donald Trump on. And I've said this actually throughout my time here on this channel as I've been reporting on Hazard and Megxit. The opinion conspiracy theory, whatever, it will end in divorce. Opinion conspiracy theory, whatever, it is going to end badly for Prince Hazard because he's got nowhere else to go. He's burned all his bridges. He's absolutely screwed himself, guys. So, yeah, it will end badly.
And I wonder if Harry's going to go back on his hands and knees and say, please, I think Harry has been led down a path.
If you were the Queen, is it at the stage now, would you remove their royal title?
I would. The only thing I disagree with the Queen on, probably one of the only things ever, is that I think she should have said, if that's your choice, fine. But you no longer have titles, you no longer, and frankly, don't come around. He has been.
Whoo! So you also have Donald Trump turning around and saying, oh, hell yeah, remove their titles. Titles go bye-bye. Oh, my goodness. And that is like the ultimate nightmare for Megxit, right? To lose a title, because then without a title, what does she have left? I mean, she's already using it for her American Riviera Orchard brand, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, right? Whoo! But, here we have another interview. We're going on to the following year now. So this is the 4th of May, 2023. And, he talks about Megxit again disrespecting the Queen and being surprised that they got an invite to a certain event. Here we go.
And he loved his mother. And that's why I thought she was treated so disrespectfully by Meghan, and just no reason to do that. I was actually surprised that Harry was invited, to be honest.
He was surprised that Hazard got invited to the King's coronation after everything that Megxit had done towards the royal family. Do you know what? We were as well, really, in the grand scheme of things at the end of the day. But then we go on later on in the year, 6th of September 2023, Donald Trump is on the Hugh Hewitt show. And he is asked if he would sit down with Megxit and Hazard. Check out Donald Trump's answer to this little nugget.
The reason I bring up 90 million people watch that. 90 million people. And the only thing I think that might draw an audience that even approaches that would be if you were to sit down with the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, and Prince Harry. They don't like you much. Would you do that for the ratings?
Would he sit down in front of Hazard and Megxit and debate them? What do you think Donald Trump said? Do you remember? Because this was all over the news last year. Here we go.
Well, I don't know that they don't like me. I said that I don't think they're very appropriate, what they're saying, what they're doing. And I didn't like the way she dealt with the Queen. I became very friendly with the Queen. She was an incredible woman. At 95, she was so sharp. She was 100%. When you watch Biden, you say, this is a different planet.
Again, he has all the praise, all the respect in the world for the late Her Majesty the Queen.
But they treated her with great disrespect, and I didn't like it. And I didn't like the idea that they were getting U.S. security when they came over here. No, I think it's not a good situation going on with the two of them. But I didn't know that they don't like me. Somebody mentioned it might be possible. They wouldn't be the only ones.
But, I mean, that would get ratings, wouldn't it?
Oh, if you want to set it up, let's set it up. Let's go do something. I'd love to debate her.
I would love to debate her. Oh, my goodness. I would so tune into that. Donald Trump debating Megxit. Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry, but whether you agree with Donald Trump or not, opinion conspiracy theory, whatever, I really do think he would destroy Megxit in a debate. Do you know what? An amoeba with special needs would probably destroy Megxit in a debate. That's how far I would go with that particular analysis. However, you may have latched onto something that Donald Trump actually said in that particular part of the interview I've just shown you, which is that he didn't like the idea that Hazard and Megxit were getting US security when they came over here. Now, remember, that interview I've I've just shown you was broadcast on the 6th of September 2023. Donald Trump actually mentioned this all the way back on the 29th of March 2020, well over 3 years back from the interview, saying, I'm a great friend and admirer of the Queen and the United Kingdom. Again, continuing over the years with his support and his admiration and respect for the Queen, right? It was reported that Harry and Meghan, who left the kingdom, would reside permanently in Canada. Now they've left Canada for the US. However, the US will not pay for their security protection. They must pay. So right from day one, Donald Trump did not like the idea of the US having to fork out money to pay for Hazza and Megxit's security. But oh my goodness, it does not stop there because, Donald Trump also doesn't like the idea much of Hazza actually being in the US in any generality whatsoever, saying more recently, I won't protect you like Biden. This was a couple of months back on the 25th of February 2024. He spoke exclusively to the Daily Express US at the CPAC conference in Washington, D.C., moments before actually going on stage, saying, quote, I wouldn't protect him. He betrayed the Queen. That's unforgivable. He would be on his own if it was down to me. And here, Donald Trump is commenting on the current whole US visa legal drama when it comes to Prince Hazza, the Heritage Foundation, and the current Biden administration. He also believes that the royal family had been too gracious to Hazza after what he has done. But here, more recently, only a couple of months back on Tuesday, the 19th of March, 2024, in another interview with Nigel Farage, he is asked, doesn't the American people deserve the truth about Hazza's visa? And this is ultimately what Donald Trump had to say about that.
But don't the American people deserve to know the truth about what went on that visa form?
Well, I guess so. I mean, I haven't spoken about him in a long time. I think there was great disrespect done to a person that I got to know very well and liked, the Queen. She was unbelievable. You know, I got to know her very well. Remember, I was supposed to be with her for 10 to 15 minutes, and we ended up being like for 2 hours. And then we had dinner the night, that following night. It was such a beautiful, honoring the country, but the President of the United States. Really, I would think the country, but they were honoring me. And I got to know her very well over the course of the couple of years, and she was unbelievable. And I thought she was treated very disrespectfully by them. Very.
You'll see a pattern when it comes to Donald Trump, right? He talks about the Queen in the most respectful way, but also continues to say time and time again, Hazza and Megxit disrespected the Queen. Oh.
Very. She, you know, I would say, although she wouldn't show it because she was strong and smart, but I would imagine they broke her heart. The things that they were saying were so bad and so horrible. And she was in her 90s and hearing this stuff. I think they broke her heart.
No, it was horrible.
I think they really hurt her very
But
badly.
if he's lied on his visa form,
You know,
doesn't the truth need to come out?
We'll have
I mean, should he get special privileges that nobody else does?
No, and we'll have to.
Ho, ho, ho. So not only is he turning around and saying, look, Hazza and Megxit hurt the Queen really, really bad and broke her heart, asked if Hazza should get special privileges in regards to his visa situation, Donald Trump immediately is like, hell no. Woohoo, Megxit, you're in trouble. And this is why I say, look, right at the beginning, this might be the biggest, most powerful enemy Megxit has actually made in her lifetime, because you've got a scenario here where Donald Trump over the years has not minced his words, does not like Megxit whatsoever because she has disrespected and hurt the Queen on so many levels, to the point where if he goes back into power, he said he ain't gonna protect her husband, he ain't gonna get special privileges. If that visa's incorrect in any way, he's gone. And that's her meal ticket then gone. Because Prince Hazza's going to go back to UK. Do you think Megxit's going to follow him? Oh, hell no. With that being said, if you appreciated this video and you want more, believe me, Megxit's made a lot of enemies. there's going to be more in this Versus series, then make sure you subscribe to join our alternate tribe. I'll be honest with you, help us now get to 1 million so we can also get that gold play button right there and hopefully cause a Meghan Markle meltdown on Instagram. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatever's. Also as well, if you've got an opinion on who you want to see next on the Meghan Markle Versus series, and I bet you do, then make sure you send me a super thanks. It's just below this video right here. We can have a conversation about this because it does guarantee a response from me. And until the next time, you guys, laters.